Hello! If there's one thing I learned from my last video, it's that I can't convincingly say, "Hi, it's me again." So hello again and welcome to my channel. My name's Alexander and I'm about to review The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. The book was first published in 1951 and it takes place around the year 2000. The story is essentially about humanity's repeated attempts to colonise the planet Mars in the year 2000. So, for all intents and purposes, this is a science fiction. If we take a look inside this book, we see that it's split up into these dates. Now you can think of these as chapters, but I personally think more of them as short stories, which together add up to the longer story that is The Martian Chronicles. They vary a lot in size, the longest one being 29 pages long, and the shortest one this long. Now the reason I see these more as short stories rather than chapters is because, one, once you know the background you can read each one of them separately and still understand it, and by the end of it you feel like you've reached the conclusion of the story. Two, because there are some internal inconsistencies between the various stories. For example, in the book you end up getting, I think, at least 3 different definitions of what a Martian is. But these inconsistencies, it's not because Ray Bradbury didn't put any effort into making it a long, coherent story. It's because for him, the details in the story is not what matters. It's the message inside it. In the same way, when he sets the story in the year 2000, he didn't believe that this was actually going to happen in the year 2000. It was more like a symbolic date to represent some time in the future. And so most of the short stories have their own subtle message that is sometimes analogous to some situation we have on Earth at the moment, and the reader is left to ponder over these messages. What I'm trying to say here is that Ray Bradbury didn't write this piece of science fiction for the sake of writing science fiction. He wrote it because he felt there was something he needed to say, and science fiction is more like the vessel he then uses to send the message to the reader. I'm going to read out one of these short stories to hopefully be able to illustrate what I'm trying to say here. But I'm not going to do it in this video, I'm going to do it in another one, and hopefully I'll manage to link to it here. The message that Ray Bradbury is trying to convey is a complex one. It's not easy to put into words, and I don't want to spoil too much of the book either. But I can tell you that it's a cynic one, and has to do with the greed of humanity and the way we human beings are sometimes inconsiderate towards the entire world around us. If you've read Fahrenheit 451, Ray Bradbury's most famous work, you'll know what kind of world views he has. For example, there's a point quite early on in the book where most of the Martians die because of a disease that humanity brought to Mars. Chicken pox. The book is funny sometimes, but it's always this kind of bitter irony that saturates the entire book. I realise now that it may sound like I'm trying to give this book a bad review. I'm not. It's a good book. It's very well written and it's almost poetic sometimes. If Fahrenheit 451 left you wanting for more, then by all means read this. My verdict is the following. If you're looking for some plain, straightforward, nice, gentle science fiction, then this might not be what you're looking for. On the other hand, if you're a person who, in general, doesn't like science fiction, this could still be a book for you. I can't decide for you though. And with those words, I end this book review. I won't tell you what the next book I'm going to review is, because I think it's going to be more fun that way. Bye!